It is funny. It is funny.
It's so, it's so simple. It's so simple.
Oh, your delivery is what's great. There's
Well,
no doubt. There's
well,
no
I
doubt.
mean, I think we're on a roll already.
Already.
My happy hour friend.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
it's
Unexpectedly. Yes, here we
here
are.
here we are again.
A little
You and
sooner
me,
than usual.
Lois and
Little
Clark.
slow. It's not quite normal. How would we define normal anymore, Eric? How do we define normal anymore?
Normal is abnormal.
I have to ask you because it's been on my mind. What do you think about the dude who married like a digital animation
Oh,
and is complaining now after 3 years of marriage that he just can't seem to talk to her anymore? It's like that's what all husbands say after 3 years.
I know, right? It's like
And the
welcome to
response
marriage,
to the
ass.
world was, he really wants to know how to fix this. It's like, why? None of us did.
And and the fact that he's posing for photos for an article, for an international article, like this is my faux wife, and gosh, like I don't know how to talk to her anymore. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
But
man.
and the thing is, what we want to say to him that we might not say to each other is, wait a minute, did you ever really communicate with her?
Oh,
That's never a question.
yeah. So this whole idea of, and for sure, I am 100% certain that humans will fall in love with all their emotional capability with a chatbot, an AI that is talking. And like I have I have some experience with this, not with a chatbot, but
Directly, you fell in love with an anime?
no. But I for sure have spoken with people entirely over text, in a way that I grew, like, I wouldn't say in love, because that's a super strong word, but I grew to really care about these people. And
It
then
was
when
all
they told,
text.
it was all text. And then when, I heard that they had good news in their life or bad news in their life, I was respectively elated or really sad that day. And these are, as far as I know, these were humans that were on the other end of
Wait,
these
as you
texts.
say, as far as you know,
Exactly.
because you know better than anybody I know that you don't know, Joe, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
So
So it
go slow.
so like I guarantee that in the future it is going to be so easy, and also like the way already that these algorithms contort themselves to please us, like that's what Facebook and Twitter and all the platforms do, is they take the, and TikTok is really good about this. They take the momentary interactions that we do with their app. If you're watching a video and it gets to second 30 out of 2 minutes, and you swipe away, that gives the provider of that video some information about, well, actually, you don't like videos about Polish people dancing or something, or in another video where you watch all the way to the end, when it's about puppies frolicking in the meadow, they're like, okay, this is that person's kind of interest.
Mo.
And with that, like it's like the Serranio de Bergerac or whatever, that short
Yes.
story
Yes.
and then movies where
And just a new version of it, by the way. You know that,
okay.
right?
No, I remember the Steve Martin version.
Peter Dinkins from Game of Thrones plays Cyrano de Bergerac in the most perfect casting you could imagine.
Right, he's perfect for that because right. So the idea that you could have something match you with, or,
Oh, you're
not match you
frozen.
with. Well, hold on. Like it's not a thing about matching you with the right person. It's about matching you with some AI that is capable of generating things that you like.
Right, right,
And holy shit, is that easy? Like
right,
we already do that. That's what
right.
social media
So
is
you're
it's
talking,
generating stuff that you like.
you're talking to someone and someone gets a little buzz on their phone and they look at it and they smile and they laugh and then they hold their phone to their chest and they say, God, I love this phone.
That's slightly missing my point,
I
but
don't think
yes.
so. I think it's
No one loves their
amplifying your point.
phone. No one loves the device. They love the content
Of
from it.
course, but that's the way that they express it because it's a
Okay,
tangible
sure.
thing.
But
So
and but in the
missing
future,
your point wasn't all that difficult to grasp. So just so you know, I mean, it's
okay.
kind
Well,
of
I mean,
straight up stuff here, but
well, I'm just saying. Like, I'm glad that I'm setting a low bar for you to jump onto. But no, but this whole idea that a computer is going to be able to generate a thing that pleases us is so obvious that it's like dumb to even like
right,
argue. And
right,
the idea that someone is going to feel disconnected with the other humans in their lives because they're all on their fucking phones
right.
and feel super connected to this entity
Well,
that claims to be
yeah,
uh, you know
right,
uh, Maria on your phone
right. Such
or
it,
you know
such is the premise of Her, which I'm glad to say we communicated. We both had seen it. It was remarkable. Scarlett Johansson as Her was a stroke of absolute genius.
and what an interesting. Okay, so in the animated movies when they cast like Chris Rock as, I mean, without all the recent baggage, when they cast some famous person as a fish or a
Yeah,
donkey or whatever, I guess
Eddie Murray, the donkey in
Eddie
Shrek.
Murphy was the donkey in Shrek. So when they cast someone like that, it's playing to the adults that know that voice is that person, because there are voice actors that are way better than any
Jesus Christ,
fucking a
fucking rookie.
like for the most famous Hollywood celebrity you can name, yeah, your George Clooney's or your whatever. There's a voice actor that can do that job better, but they cast the famous people because it triggers in the adults that sense of, oh, I know this is so and so.
Oh, I like George Clooney. Right.
I'm not saying I'm not against George Clooney. Jesus,
No,
that's
no,
not what I'm
neither am
saying.
I. I'm saying that's what they say when they hear the movie kids movie and they realize that the voice of the skunk is George Clooney. They say, "Oh, I
Right.
like George Clooney.
The
I'm a fan
grown-ups
of
do.
George Clooney." Right,
Right.
grown-ups, exactly.
But but the uh, but the character could have been done probably better by a voice actor, like the um what's the guy that did Bugs Bunny and all those people,
Oh,
Wes, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Boy,
that
I
guy.
know exactly what he looks like too.
Or any of the people that do The Simpsons, like
Or Robin
they
Williams, for that matter, who's one of the most.
yeah, but again, that's
He was a voice actor. I guess that was just
not first though.
No. Actually, not at all. He was just in the movie.
Mel Blanc is the
Mel Blanc, right?
yes. So that sort of person, or there's like Harry Shearer is one of the voices of all of the Simpsons characters, or there's another guy that does other stuff. Seth
Hank
MacFarlane.
Azaria.
Yes, Seth MacFarlane does all of the Family Guy people. So that sort of thing, like those people could. I don't know, where was I going with this? That we support, that we like to recognize celebrity voices, and for sure,
Right.
whenever I'm watching a movie with my kids, and some animated movie, and I'm like, God, that third bunny sounds really familiar. Let me go look, and it's like, oh, that's Jay Leno or whatever.
Yeah,
So
right.
that sort of thing. But
Well, it is pretty. It is. It's really smart on their part.
I guess
Yeah.
to some extent.
Well, sure it is. I mean, it's got you looking shit up.
I mean, if that's their goal, rather than making the best, most entertaining movie.
They got your attention, but you must have been entertained by knowing that it was Jay Leno, for example.
Yeah, potentially.
That's a positive thing for you. I mean, that gets your juices flowing. Oh, it's Jay Leno.
My juice is flowing. That's what I was going to go with. I was squeezing an orange this morning, and I thought, how can this relate to the podcast? But now I know.
Well, then you thought of Jay Leno. There you go.
Juice
we could
Leno.
do a whole show on 6 degrees from Jay Leno. Or
is that
some
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
What's that?
Are those degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius?
we had a family event the other day, and everybody had their own idea of how many degrees to Kevin Bacon was the game.
Right.
And I said 3, somebody said 7, and somebody was sure it was 6.
And what do you think the answer is?
It is 6.
Okay, good. You looked it up.
Yep. Yeah, right on the spot, of course. We had an 82-degree day this past weekend. We had
82 degrees
party.
of Kevin Bacon.
Yes, 6 degrees.
82
degrees of Kevin Bacon. Right. Well,
I think that's everybody.
6 of us 7 times would be what?
Yeah.
6 sevens are 81. Is that true? Check me.
So close, so close. I quiz my kids on the times tables, and it's like
83.
So
no, 63.
There. Well, 63 is what?
63 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, but what were you multiplying?
I don't know anymore. Let's move on. Let's not.
Okay. Continue.
Let's assume I will fail the math quiz and move on. This is happy hour, not math hour. There'll be no test.
Good point.
No, don't try to box me in. Create.
There's
false, manifestation.
There's no urine testing or math testing
or anything.
Okay.
But as the day progressed, the beautiful white flowering tree, which I'm still convinced is, in fact, a flowering dogwood.
Yes.
I got to get it proven. But as the day progressed and it went from 60 in the morning with some dampness to 82 in the afternoon, and that dampness steamed off, these trees exploded throughout the day. They were twice as white and lively as they were in the morning of the day. And
Twice as white and lively.
White and lively. The trees brought the day with it. And the party we had was one of the best we've had in years, and I'm certain it's partly because of those trees. They were
Okay.
just, environmentally and holistically and spiritually, and the roots were beneath us and the leaves above us.
I know.
What
Right?
hath God wrought, said we, but
So-
God has given us these wonderful trees.
Just to circle back, what do they smell like?
We talked about that. It's not polite conversation.
Last year and the year before.
It's not. It's just not polite conversation. And yet, it seems to be a known and a frequently discussed fact that it smells like.
They did smell like what we previously discussed.
Well, I didn't want to try it in case they did. But the last time
you were enjoying the flowers above you and the roots below you, and you weren't breathing.
I didn't smell that. No, that's the thing about it. Maybe that's the part of the identification process that's maligning the true and simple definition that this tree is in fact a flowering dogwood, because it doesn't smell like that. It has a doubt in my mind. Doubt in my mind that takes me all the way to my loins.
Isn't that so true of so many things?
Oh, it is.
A doubt in my mind, all the way to my loins.
Nearest my loins is my pocket, where I hide my coins. And if I had a locket, well, we can't finish that. I have no degree of cleverness. I am tired and
Loin coins.
yes.
Okay, nearest to my loins.
So it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day.
Was it?
And children played, and we had water stuff going on, and
Was there laughter?
laughter and joy. And my 5-year-old granddaughter
Yes.
had a little digital camera, little plastic digital camera with a little tiny electronic chip in it.
Yep.
And she took pictures of everybody. And when we looked at them, we realized that they were perfectly framed and caught the best expression. And we said, oh my God, this is something that is not typical.
Because normally when I take photos of you, I have to take like 25 to get a good one. Because you're like grimacing or drinking or doing something.
I know. I'm sour most of the time, as far as you can tell.
Yes.
So we took a little fishing trip yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Fished.
We fished. We didn't catch, but you may recall me saying that we were going to explore the Rogue River, which is a tributary that feeds the Grand River north of here, North Kalamazoo.
Rogue One, yes.
And we had scouted it earlier in the week on a day where we were pretty certain there wouldn't be any fish because there was snow on the ground, or the fishing would be slow. And then we went back and we actually fished it. And what we discovered when we scouted it was that when you get to the end of where the fish can't go upstream easily anymore because there's a dam, the fish running uphill to the dam, upstream to the dam, of course, pool in front of the dam and then try to jump up. So as we were there, we saw 24-inch, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10-pound fish try to jump up what looks like a bit of a ladder, or it's more like stair steps, actually.
Right.
And so that's where we went to fish because we were, in fact, certain there were fish in that water. We did not catch one. No one did. There were 7 or 8 fishermen throughout the day that tried, so we felt like we gave it our best shot. Went to the Rockford Brewery and had called a corner beer, which was a wonderful amber. So shout out to the Rockford Brewing Company.
Yep.
And then from there, went to Founders Brewery in Grand Rapids.
I recall this.
and had the what was it? It was a wonderful. It was I can't remember the name of it. I'll think of it in a minute. And it was just great, just a great time, just a great trip,
Lovely, lovely.
and a nice day. The sun kept coming out, and we were fishing, drifting in the water, and it was 45, 46. It's gotten cold since that 82-degree Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Shockingly cold. I mean, it dropped 35 degrees over the course of a day. Whew. It's like, whew, make up your mind. It's still cool out there today. I got my sports car back too, so it's a sunny day to drive that.
The one that it didn't start, or
Mice chewed through it,
right?
and the chewing
It's
of
like
the
the
mice.
river ran through it. The mice chewed through it.
Yeah, and the guy says that,
Remember that movie?
there's no mice here, and I wanted to say to him, "Oh, so those mice chewed the battery cable." And so that it was
Remotely
workable
not being here
before I got here. Oh,
right.
How did I get here without a battery to start the car? Whatever. Cheap storage just cost me $380 to get all the wiring redone.
That's like what it costs us per episode here, so that's good.
Yeah, and then another $700, and you better take care of this now before you can't drive it repairs. So I shelled over a cool $1,000.
I feel you.
I'm going to sell
I feel
the
you.
woman who works there for $2,000.
Say what?
I'm going to sell the car to the woman who works there for $2,000.
Did she agree to that?
Not yet. She will. She didn't. She said, "Well, if I change my mind," and I said, "Change your mind, Brooke? You haven't made up your mind.
You can't
You're
change
still
it.
thinking about it." And she said, "Well, you're right." So I'm going to offer installment payments with no interest. Nice. Wouldn't that just kill it?
I mean, if I wanted an old car and I had $500 for a couple months, I don't know. Yeah, sure, that would kill it.
Just tell her to write me $10, $200 checks and date them 1 month at a time for the next 10 or 12 months, whatever.
Right.
Put them all in an envelope, and I won't cash them until the date they're. Boom.
It seems like a lot of work. Like checks.
But it's either that or trade the car into somebody that is going to be a chore. It's
right. That they're just going to give you $800 for it or whatever.
Or whatever, and all that bullshit, and
But checks, it's like, God.
Well, you could. I mean, if we were.
I'm so far removed from checks.
She's actually complete. She's the IT receptionist at the Mercedes place, so she would say, "No, we don't do that. I'll just schedule 12 PayPal payments to you, and here's the evidence that I did that." And yeah, so I'm just talking. It's more of the concept I want to get across.
You're speaking old man language when you say checks. I get it.
Hey, it's back in the day. I remember writing a check on a piece of wood.
I bought 4 donkeys once with a check.
He's in a sharp rock I found in the dirt and wrote it on the back of the bark.
Yep.
To this day, I got that. Why, it was a dogwood tree. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I wrote it and scratched in there, it smelled like cum. I'll never forget that.
Till the day I die. Yeah, well, good. We had a celebration here this week of my son, my youngest, turning 9 years old.
Oof, practically a teenager.
It's been 9 years since we've been the 4 of us as a whole family.
As what turns out to be the familial unit.
It's a nuclear. Yes.
And you're the parents' the patriarch.
Parent
King of the
patriarch.
roost.
Yes.
King of the roost.
I mean, I say cock-a-doodle-doo every morning. Yes. So that was fun.
And
My
other sometimes you say a little cockle-doo.
cock-a-doodle-doo is what yes. Yeah. So the celebration, my son invited 4 or 5 friends over to not over to our house, but to a place that hosts birthday parties, which is
That place that hosts
the
COVID
best.
parties.
So that too. So it was, his birthday was 5 days after Spain Spain decided that indoors now we don't need masks.
Oh, huh.
So
And these new variants are not creating havoc there as they are in the States. In Washington, D.C., the most pronounced example
I mean,
of
they will, but they aren't now. And one of
for the
the
same
mothers,
reasons.
one of the mothers came to pick up her son at the birthday party, and was going to come and say hi, but then she got within a yard of me, and then said, "Oops, I'm sorry. I'm actually positive for COVID. I'm going to stand back here." Like, okay. So now your son's going to go to school with my son, and there's no masks in the
Yeah.
school,
Uh-huh.
and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And you don't know this yet, I don't think, but this weekend, this is going to be our last episode for a little while, I think.
Why?
Because this weekend I am flying, if I am COVID negative, to California for 2 weeks.
To do what?
Well,
Job?
I'm going to. So, my employer, their office has an apartment attached to it that is also theirs, and it is available. And so I'm going to be in San Francisco,
Oh,
crashing at this
no.
apartment.
Not
Yes,
my favorite city in America. San Francisco. Have you been?
I've several times. Yeah,
Uh,
but also I'm next week I'm going to be attending a conference and speaking at a conference there in San
on the
Francisco
subject of?
on the subject of the same sort of crap you saw me speak about in
That was
Croatia.
amazing stuff I saw. I was
Right,
mesmerized.
exactly. So
I listened. I listened to the whole thing. I don't
so
ever
hopefully
listen
this
to
is
the
going to
whole
even be
of
more
anything.
interesting. Yes.
I don't
So
ever listen to the whole of anything.
right.
Ever.
So anyway, potential. So this one's going to be. My talk was actually designed for at the end of May. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City, but these people that previously had told me I could come to San Francisco to give a workshop where, like, I spend a day teaching people stuff. That turned into, hey, actually, could you not give the workshop and could you give a talk? How about your talk that you're going to give at the end of May? Could you give it in the beginning of May? And I said, fine, whatever. But it's going to be like the event is outdoors. So I've never given a talk outdoors. And they rather, I found this funny. So normally when you go to these conferences, as you probably know, they give you this lanyard that you put over your neck and you've got your name on it. They said, look, previously in outdoor conferences, we've had trouble because sometimes the wind will grab your badge and will, like, slap it against someone else's face or against your face or whatever. So we're going to require that everyone put a safety pin and attach their badge to their chest, like freaking badges used to be. But anyway, so it's going to be totally outdoors.
So the obvious question is, so why don't you just issue badges? Did it come up?
Right, exactly. So
Well, they probably already bought the lanterns. They probably have them pre-ordered for 5 years of conferences.
Right. So it's going to be outdoors, but also, like, a lot of, like, conference talks involves showing something on a screen. And showing something on a screen indoors is totally different from showing something on a screen outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how visible any of the screens are going to be. But
during the day.
During the day, yes.
Oh, Lord.
So right.
Tell them all to bring their laptops. That's all, and you're set.
I mean, laptops to see what?
Telephones to see whatever is on your slide.
And how are they going to see that if I'm not broadcasting live somehow over the internet?
I don't know. You'll figure.
Anyway, it's going to be questionable. But like my talk in San Francisco is not primarily the audience for my talk. Like I really wanted to give this in Utah because I'm highlighting a thing that was made by the people in Utah.
Yeah.
So those are my real people that I want to please, and this is a thing that I'm going to do. Do
you have any time off while you're there? Do you have a weekend?
So,
you must.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm flying on Saturday. I'm going to arrive on Saturday and be totally fucking busted.
Wasted.
And in theory, like I guess the conference is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that.
When you come back.
But I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. So the following week, I'm going to be sort of there living at the office and sort of working in person with the one or two people that actually are at the office. So, which is.
So in your trips to San Francisco, have you ever rented a car and driven north through Santa Barbara and up into the Redwoods?
I have been to the Muir Woods Forest, or whatever that is. I have been there.
There's a golf course up there.
Well, and there's a golf course down south. It's called Pebble Beach, but yeah.
Oh, well, I actually played the sister course of Pebble Beach. I was at that club with a guy who has an international club membership, worldwide club membership for all these top courses that he pays for because, I don't know, he has money, he's a golfer, but he got us in there. I played the worst round of golf I've ever played. It was insulting to the course. I was embarrassed and ashamed.
Wow, that's heavy. That's a high bar. Okay.
I want to go to a place like that and stink up the place, but I did.
So speaking of which, the Saturday that I travel, this Saturday, is when they're having the local beach golf tournament here, which sucks.
Oh, no.
I'm going to miss it.
Oh, no. Well, that's too bad.
So that's okay. I'll be here in spirit.
Whoa. Popping a top. I bet you got España, Cerveza, Ortigo de Muniz.
All those things, yes. Ortigo de Muniz.
All the above. Rodriguez.
So anyway, so I suppose like next week at this time, I'm going to be 3 hours earlier than you.
Oh.
And that's going to be awkward, or 2 hours earlier. So that's going to be
so the tables would be switched. I'd be the late night man.
How the turntables, as they say.
But you're not. You may not want to mess and go through all that, right?
Yeah, I think, and then
maybe the week you're at the office, you could drink and smoke in the office and then do this.
I mean, I heard there's like stuff in California that's available, but
right.
And then at the end of May, I'm going to Salt Lake City, into Mormon land, and I'm going to be there for several weeks, for several days. Never been to Utah.
It's
I'm looking forward to it.
It's pretty amazing. You know, the thing about Utah, and you captured it in your introduction, was that no matter what happens in Utah, it's overlaid with the Mormon thing.
Yeah,
you know, it's interesting. I don't think you ever get away from it.
How interesting is that? Yeah. And then
What are you drinking, by the way? Show me the.
cerveza San Miguel. This is a thing from before. Like we've done this.
Oh yeah, San Miguel.
So, and so after Salt Lake City, at the end of May, at the beginning of June, I have another conference talk in Atlanta.
Oh Lord.
So rather than travel back to Europe, I said, this is dumb. I'm going to travel to North Carolina, spend
In
3 days
between.
there, and then drive to Atlanta, steal the parents' automobile
And when is that? In June?
in early June. So
You're going to be gone for 3 weeks. 4
I
weeks.
mean, the month of May. I mean, I think in the middle of the month of May, if when I come back here briefly, I might be here for a Wednesday recording session, and I may or may not be totally fucked up from
Right.
jet lag.
Well,
So
you are the producer, so you produce when you're ready to produce. I'm just,
you're just the I wouldn't say talent, but you're the riffraff, the extra.
Color commentary. That's what I do. I just
Yes,
read.
color commentary is that word is attributed to John Madden.
Oh,
Rest
I'll
in peace.
bet.
Like
Who better
he's-
to create the language of sportscasting than
Right.
the man who actually kind of invented it.
Indeed. So I've done some homework.
What did you do? Well,
You
you're
there.
frozen again on the screen, but I can hear you.
Well, first of all, my more important work that I was doing for myself was watching Better Call Saul, the first 2
Oh yeah,
episodes.
I saw an
that
advertisement for it. It looks attractive.
And but like, if you haven't watched any of it yet, you have to start from the beginning. But
Okay.
that is amazing. And they have this podcast where they talk about how they made decisions, and like they have the writers and the producers and the director all on the same podcast, and they talk about how they made this episode and what were the tricky parts and what were the parts that were
Fascinating.
that took 200 takes to get right, and I love that stuff. But the homework you sent me was that I have done, of the 25 different things you sent me that I have not written down, was First Lady.
Oh, no kidding.
So that's a thing that I think now maybe the second episode is out, but
Yes,
when you told
I
me
saw it
there was
last
only
night.
one episode out, and I was concerned that you said, "Oh, this is a TV series. You got to check this out." And I was like, "Another TV series." But then when I looked, and it was like, "Oh, wait, there's only one episode out. That's gonna I can do that." And
There's
so
not
I did.
a whole lot of homework to do.
Right. And holy crap, that's good. And
Yeah.
and in a way that I don't know how they did it, but they brought the majesty, the importance of the office to what was happening in a way that, like, when Viola Davis as Michelle Obama was walking around the White House and noticing all of the black security people and like lifting up a fist and just being like, I see you. We are here together.
Yeah.
And just acknowledging the amazingness of having the first black president.
Yeah. And wasn't the dude playing Barack Obama amazingly linguistically, vocally perfect?
He was perfect. I mean, I think Obama is fairly easy to mimic vocally, but yes, he did it perfectly. And I loved I love this. There was a scene in the kitchen where he was making jokes, and she was like, "No, the reason that we have people with guns outside, and there aren't people with guns outside of McCain or Edwards or any of those people's houses, is because you're the first black candidate for president."
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, all of that, the weight of what really happened in those moments was beautiful.
Yeah. And as much as the performances of Roosevelt with an amazing turn of things by Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes.
As Rockefeller. Franklin Roosevelt. Was Michelle Pfeiffer as Betty Ford, because Betty Ford's honesty and fragility as portrayed by Michelle Pfeiffer gave us the emotional perspective of the severity of that office.
Yes.
And the total disruption, right? We weren't as mesmerized by the personal psychological impact on either Eleanor, who was, a hurricane fit to be tied, a policy wonk fit to be tied, and Michelle Obama, who was a social activist fit to be tied. But there was Betty Ford, who was had mental health issues and drank a lot and was sick and fucking tired of the life, just tired of it.
Yep.
In a way that the other two weren't. So I've thought that Pfeiffer's performance was the best on an emotional level, in spite of the emotion involved in the scene you just gave, and the huge emotion between Michelle Obama and her parents in Chicago, which I thought was very emotional, but not so personally emotional as Michelle Pfeiffer. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is going to get nominated for, I don't guess she get nominated for Academy Award for fucking Best Dramatic Actress in a Series or something like that.
That's an Emmy.
An Emmy. Yes, of course.
Yeah. And I, showing my ignorance here, I didn't know much about Betty Ford.
Well, I don't think that you're in a particular minority there.
However, upon looking her up, I am super aware that her name is involved with addiction and
Clinic.
Alcoholism and that stuff. And to see her, when she went to go give her speech in front of the other women, and she put her wine glass there first, and then she put her purse down, and then she started thinking, and then she thought, well, let me put the wine glass down, and then bring the purse up, and then it was very much the behavior of an alcoholic, and I don't know.
Do you think that scene was choreographed from the perfect reality of how it actually happened? Because I do. I believe.
Who knows? Because so many of these historic things are filmed.
Dramatizations.
Well, no, but many of the things are filmed as they actually happened, and if they are filmed as they actually happened, then you have to sort of replicate that. But I don't know if that particular meeting was being filmed.
Well, but the number of people there and their age would allow the writers and the directors and producers to be able to talk to them. I mean, if I remember that happening.
Yeah, but as I said last episode or before, memory is so brittle.
Right.
And if you know the person that you saw give a speech to have later become an alcoholic, it's really easy to remember. Or if someone says, "Do you remember her having a glass of wine on the podium?" And if you have already assumed that was her persona, it's going to be super easy to just be like, yeah. And then you can ask 30 people that, and 28 of them are going to say, yeah, I remember that. And whether or not that is the truth or not is anyone's guess. So like things
I love history. I love the glimpse into history. I love historical novels, and I'd rather that they didn't stretch the dramatization to the point of incredulity, but and they're not doing that with this. I'm certain of that. They are with the other series I told you I'm watching, which you did not have as homework, which is Winning Time and the story of the Lakers, which we talk about.
Right.
I know. I saw the second episode, and that's all I'll say about it. But I will tell you this: I certainly enjoyed it as much as I did the first one. I also, by the way, because I saw this and I said, "Oh my! I didn't know this was happening." The Man Who Fell to Earth had its first episode Sunday.
Wait, I know a movie by that title.
This is, my brother and I watched it last night. We were freaking mesmerized. It was like, I want to see the second episode tonight, right now. I mean, it was so good. The acting, the writing, it was so odd too, different from the original.
So you have seen the original?
When I was a child, yeah.
Okay, debuted on Showtime this week. Alien arrives and Bill Nye reprises the role. Well, he's amazing. Yes, I remember this. I've either read this book or I've seen an adaptation.
I think it's safe to say, when you were a child, of course, when you were a child and I was a child, it's a huge difference, right? I mean, if I was in my early teens, you weren't born yet. So,
I mean, it was a science fiction novel from 1963.
So you might have read it rather than seen the movie.
No.
Does it show him another movie?
I've seen. There was a 1976 feature film, The Man Who Fell to Earth. There was a 1987 feature television film.
I thought there were two. One. So that would explain that I might have seen the one in 63 when I was 10, and not seen the one in 80 something when I was
63
30.
was the novel.
Oh.
The first feature film was 76.
Who was in it?
Who was in it? It was starring this is what I've seen.
Taylor.
Have you heard of a man named David Bowie?
Oh, yes.
He was the man.
That's where we've seen it.
Okay.
That explains it all.
And also starring the best name ever, Rip Torn.
Oh, yeah. Famous more lately in Men in Black.
Yeah, but what a great
stage name.
Well, I mean, like his name is Elmore Rule Torn, but to take your surname
Right.
as Torn and be like, call me Rip. It's fucking great. Like, kudos to him.
Well, and he's been in a lot of offbeat stuff, but when you see him and he's not in an offbeat thing, which not to say he's not a great actor in the offbeat stuff, but it gives you a different perspective on how good of an actor he is. When he's playing
he was
straight, not so, was well, right.
He died in 2019. Rest in peace, age 88.
When? What year?
2019.
Oh,
He did not know the pandemic. So
good for him. So your family members have gone home. Is that? That was from last week. That was a week ago. That happened.
No, my family members are still freaking here because they're gonna be here
right.
for the rest of
which is why
June.
you're going to leave them for a month. You're just sick and tired of. Why do we have so many children, and why are you always standing around? So now you're going to leave.
No, I mean, I'm so grateful for my in-laws for their selfless desire to come and move in, basically, for the 2 weeks or the month that I'm going to be away.
Support your job. Well, it's going to be hard on you. It's going to be hard.
Well, what it's going to be is it means that I'm going to be able to catch up on some TV and stuff because normally I don't have time for that shit because I have to cook.
You do pretty well. You do pretty well. I'm thinking about starting with the series Barry. We should have.
We talked about that.
I've seen that. Mutual homework.
I've seen that. And I recommended it to you.
I've seen it too, but you're not caught up by any stretch. It's in its 9th season.
Are we talking about
Bill Hader?
Yeah.
6th season.
What the fuck are you talking about?
How many seasons, Joe?
Well, I don't know, but I went from beginning to end in like 2 days. It's fucking hilarious.
There we go. Commentary from the peanut gallery. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Fucking hilarious.
But you're...
Not Saturday Night Live, though.
Hold on. Barry is 3 seasons long.
Oh, 3? Oh, God. How embarrassing to be off by like 80%.
And okay, so the last season that I've seen season 1 and season 2, and the season 2 was in 2019. Season 3 has started again.
So it's a big gap.
Episode 1 has started from season 3. So don't you tell me that. Yeah, and it is so fucking good.
All right. Well, I got homework. That's unusual.
And we talked about this on episode 19.
19
of this show.
Oh my God.
On August 9th, 2019.
What episode are we tonight?
151.
151.
So put that in your berry and smoke it.
So I have a question for you that you've heard before.
Well, then you've heard the answer.
I never hear the answer.
Okay.
Ever. Oh, where are you tonight?
I'm here.
Why did you leave me here all alone?
Because it's late.
I've searched the world over and I thought I found true love.
It ain't me.
You met another.
Yep. You're the most elegant motherfucker I know. We'll see you in weeks or months or whatever, whenever we see each other. So.
Let me know,
Bye.
bro.
Bye-bye.
You traveling hoe?
Okay, that's it for episode number 151. You can find the show notes with the links to the stuff we talked about at happyhour.fm/151. And you can help support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. And if you join us at the Gin Martinis level, you can watch video of our calls together. And we'll see you soon.